formal name, the Bemidji Reef Club, or how do you title yourself?
Northern Minnesota Reef Club.
Northern Minnesota Reef Club. They expand throughout the whole northern region. These guys are the experts, the hobbyists, the lovers of aquaria that we also are. We are budding amateurs that are trying to become at least journeymen. So we hopefully we can capture some extra expertise from some of the individuals here who have way more years of experience than we do. So come on in. You said you wanted to get in on the screen. Tell us something. You can introduce yourself, or you can make up a name. You don't even have to have your real name. You could be,
John.
John Q. John. There we go.
Yeah. I've been into reefing for probably 25 or 30 years.
Great.
Yeah.
So why do you find it satisfying? Tell me, just give us why? Why are you into it? Just because you thought it was so cool, you couldn't resist?
Yeah, about the challenge of it, and then I find it relaxing.
Yeah. In between tumultuous events or whatever, cleaning things that happen. Yep. It's like flying a plane. It's very relaxing until you have to land it or take it off.
Right.
So yeah, here's our humble tank. We've been going for about, do you remember how long we were? About 7, 8 years now, 10 maybe? You were here at the inside.
I think it's 2009.
2009, so we're going towards 12 years on this tank, and it's starting to mature, it's starting to show signs of growth and deterioration, as is life in the ocean. But through the years, we've had some pretty good things. We've always been doing well with anemone. That's whatever it is we do here, we do that well. You harvest that about every year. You take a piece of that.
At least every year, yeah.
And so we're going to offer a feeding here. If you wanted to try that up, it might get weird with the lights. We might have to dim weirdly the lights. So.
Look at those huge pajama cardinals.
These guys.
Fat and sassy.
Yeah. They're so fast, they're getting wrinkles.
Apparently it looks like it's plankton here. You can hold this out.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that sailfin nose.
Yeah, they did. Oh, wait a minute here. What's going on?
I recognize the food jar.
So the sailfin's one of the old ones in there. That one's been in there for 10 years. It knows the drill.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's a healthy looking fish.
The sailfin and the yellow went in at the same time.
Yeah, with some of this stuff we just put in there, let it wash around, and then things get a hold of it as over live. But some things are a little, not a lot, but mix it in. Maybe you could give it a little mix and go, and then show. I'll hold it up to the right level. And you can give us a level scene, Ryan. If you think we're going to feed this rock, and then what did you call it? The rock coral?
Rock anemone.
Rock anemone.
Rock flower.
Rock flower. Okay, so maybe you can move in on this, Ryan. This rock flower is the feature.
Little orange guy down there.
Feature feeder.
The feature feeder right now, yeah. And then as I move the top up, tell me how your lighting is looking, Ryan.
We can see many sections of the tank.
Trying to keep the main shadow out of your camera's eye.
Are you good?
Yeah, we're good. We got it. If you can sneak in there and give it a little bite. Yeah. Right now we're doing a purposeful feeding of this rock flower.
Target feeding.
Target feeding. There we go. And it should respond. It's pretty active feeder when you give something down right to it. And while it will go through and take some foods from the water, this target feeding is going to keep it healthy and strong. It seems like it's a pretty healthy creature right there. Who else do you think could use a bite right now looking around the tank?
I bet you the toes will all close up if you feed them.
Yeah, we might
Mushrooms
react
too.
better if we turned off the power.
Turn off the lighting.
No, the power.
The power.
Have to just let screen it.
Yeah, so the flow.
Does it seem like it just blew away from us?
Guy hiding there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I suppose we forgot to turn off the.
There's a black
That's
liney
right.
in there.
It'll just blow
Oh,
around.
yeah, that's what it is.
It's got a heck of a good skimmer back there that'll take off anything that's moving around.
Let's try and feed those zoas.
Those are
All these in front here.
okay.
So
Give that another look.
So plenty of them in the back too.
Yeah.
All the ones in the
You
back.
got a wall.
They could fit better in the front then. Might spill out your cameras out with that light. Right?
Yeah,
I've seen them
I'm adjusting it on the
so
fly. We're working.
prolific on the back glass before.
So as the camera's peeking in there a little bit. We've got a variety of lights. We've got some halide lights. We've got some very blue lights to highlight the colors of the corals. And we've got some bright white lights in
Try
there.
some
We've
on
got
the
three
hairy
different
mushrooms.
spectrums that we're pushing
Try
out.
the hairy mushrooms?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I've always thought was interested with the zoanthids that we have in there is you notice the ones on the left side are all white, whereas as the further you get away from that side, they suddenly, it's all green ones.
Green ones, yeah.
Yeah, they sorted out themselves, didn't they?
I wonder, is that a lighting thing? Is that a way the water's moving in the tank thing?
I think it's a species.
They're cousins.
Yeah.
They're a little bit different.
Yeah.
Seems like that.
Different species. See it kind of intermixing in the bottom of this section over here.
With that coral candy is its name, and we just what is the formula here? Marine fish protein. Rock flowers starting to
Close up and eat it.
Alright, well,
Just broadcast the
you
rest, or
guys
do you
want
want
to
to
pitch
spot
out your
some more?
club? Want to pitch on your club?
So go for it.
You want to
What?
grab them there?
Just say who we are.
That's usually what we can.
We're the
Put
Minnesota,
it to good, put it to
Northern
good.
Minnesota Reef Club. And we're based in Bemidji, but we have members in Grand Forks, he's gone, Duluth, St. Cloud, Minneapolis, the area, and International Falls. And we get together once a year for Reef Camp, which we're having today, and we're visiting several different homes, doing some buying and trading, and coming to the Science Center to do some observing and maybe some buying and trading with them too.
Alright, cool.
And
Thank
so, a phrase you used just now, was broadcast feeding versus target feeding. What's the difference there?
That's broadcast is where you just pour it out and everybody has a chance for it. Like the broadcast seeding, or you just throw it out for the food, like broadcast feed to chickens. It's the little chickens.
Wide dispersal.
Wide dispersal, very good.
And so why would you need to do each one? Like what are the particulars of how you decide whether you're going to target or whether you're going to broadcast?
Depends on how well, if they're not doing so well, you're going to target feed them because then they have a better chance of getting more than their share, or at least their share. If you broadcast, the faster, more voracious, hungry fish are going to eat more, and not the other ones that are not as strong may not get as much. So
you can also see on the target, on the broadcast, the water flow changes where the food goes to, so some might not get any.
Yeah, if they're not in the current.
And target feeding isn't just for the fish, it can be for corals too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We do shift currents every once in a while just because it just changes things and it just seems to be helpful.
Yeah.
We never get back where we're
I
supposed to.
saw that thing even.
Reverse currents.
Pajama before. Yeah, there's two big ones in here.
I think they've got a pair.
Yeah, there's 2 pajamas in there.
Only one Bangai right now though, huh? Only one Bangai cardinal here?
Yeah. We had 2 for the
had
longest
2.
time, but one of them recently has passed on us.
That wrasse must be pretty new, huh?
We've lost a few things in the last year. Our Brittle Star went down. Our cleaner shrimp left us. So I'm sure we have more room for more fish and things to do. We're at 2 tanks, so we'll have a lot of volume.
Yeah.
Plus another 40 gallon
It's
tank
new
here,
in the last
so
few months.
we're up around 250 gallons in there.
But you have a nice amount of movement as it is.
Mhm.
And the more fish you have, the dirtier the tank is, the
Yeah,
harder to
and we
maintain.
gotta feed, and these tanks are definitely in charge of this crew here, and they're running, the tanks and the clowns are running their territories. The tanks believe everything is theirs, so they're so stingy that way. We lost our blue tang a couple years ago and haven't been able to get another one in. Yeah, she was saved 3 times by cleaner shrimp. They took a parasite off her back, and then she just didn't make it to the last one. She was back
Unfortunately,
into her garage and get cleaned up. Yeah.
you'd have a hard time adding one now because
Yeah.
this tank would probably not allow it.
He would say, wait a minute, we've got enough tanks here.
Yeah, this is my
Yeah.
turn.
And he's okay with the yellow tang. This is the yellow tang and the sailfin. And they are definitely in charge. They're the most aggressive feeders. They just get what they want most first because they're big and powerful.
Do you remember when you got the yellow tang and when you got
They
this?
were original, near originals. And they were quite small, or at least this one was quite a lot smaller when it arrived.
Yeah, I think if I haven't browsed the manual for this in a long time, but I think the only ones as far as the fish go that are like original when we started the tank are the clowns, and then the tangs came pretty shortly thereafter.
Yeah, the
It's-
clowns have been doing well.
And that makes sense
Little,
because tanks introduced at the same time are more likely to get a lot of it.
Yeah, the clowns.
Yeah.
There are Watchman gobies at the bottom. There's two of them.
You haven't seen it for a couple days.
It just came out.
Yeah, they live in that rock in the middle underneath the
A
clowns.
little cleaner.
Yeah, something cleaner at.
Is there anything anyone else wants to add to this mini cast? We usually like to keep them under 20 minutes. We start losing people at about the 9-minute mark. We don't want them to fall asleep at the 20 part.
So what is it? The Blenny is pretty new in here too. The black one that you're seeing coming up right up above the anemones.
Comb tooth, plenty, I bet.
So we had a starry for years and years, and that one passed on us, and then this one is relatively recent. I guess I don't know what exact species it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you die in here, sometimes we'll never see you again.
Yeah.
Like something or another.
Yeah. So I say stuff passed, but stuff kind of just disappears in here.
Yeah, well, passes in.
You don't see little suitcases in the corner
Yeah, right.
before they go.
So we know, for example, you mentioned the Riddle Star was lost maybe a year ago now, and we know for sure the urchin ate it.
Yeah, it's a tentacle at a time. It was not a friendly thing, so.
Like spaghetti, huh?
Yeah, so that one went, we've had some vicious creatures. There was a lobster in here one time that was wreaking havoc, and it took us about 3 months to trap it out of there. It was just such a great hunter, so.
How long have you had your Coral Beauty?
How long has it been up?
How long have you had the Coral Beauty in there?
What's the coral beauty? What is
That
it?
That one with the orange.
It's about mid-level fish.
So it's been here as long as I've been here, which
Somewhere in the
4
middle
years
of it
ish
all.
at least.
Really, that's a nice one.
We've had
Sometimes they
nothing
get
but
too
trouble with
dark.
ours that eat all the corals, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're terrible. So that's why I was surprised your corals are doing really well for having one of those in your tank.
Does anyone know, are they more likely to nip at SPS corals? It seems
I
like
think
it might be.
LPS, no.
So
They
these
eat
are
our
mostly
mushrooms.
softies.
Yeah, they're not.
No, mine
They
is
ate all our
perfectly
mushrooms.
behaved. Mine doesn't bother a thing.
So, perhaps
They ate
it's
our
personality and the taste preference thing here. We don't know.
They are individuals.
Yeah.
They develop their own preferences based on the system.
So the grandma's been in there for as long as I've been here too. The purple and gold one over on the side.
Yes.
That's the biggest one I've ever seen. Fat.
Yeah. We think they're well-fed but not overfed. It's tricky. It's a tricky balance to find just the right thing. We try to keep it lean because, of course, we clean it. We suck it off as algae if we overfeed.
Gee, that's my problem. Fat fish and algae is not a good sign.
Fat fish is a good sign.
Well, he's
But
lean.
and
Look
algae.
at his chassis, though. He's real lean.
Yeah.
Presuming it's a he, I'm not certain that's true. But
Yeah, would you say he's 12 years old though?
Yeah, doing something right.
Yeah.
no. Did you guys have it? And what else did you come up with in your meeting here that you want to maybe share with the public? And we can send it out.
So is the sea cucumber in there somewhere? Have we found that one?
It looks like the whole thing is sea
It's
cucumber back
we
there.
don't see it all the time. It's
Is this it on the very left here on the bottom, poking out from underneath
Yep, there he is.
taking an
They're
appearance.
cool.
Not going live without me.
That's most everybody as far as the movers go. Obviously, there's a bunch of corals in there that we haven't really touched on a whole lot, but.
Well, we used to do a feature called What Goes Bump in the Brine in the Night, and that's sort of a whole different story. At night, the fish kind of go into hiding, and other little creatures come that we don't see much out.
So we still have the hermit crabs in there anywhere? I haven't seen them in a while.
The crabs didn't do well. No, and neither did the snails particularly. I think, how many did you give me that day? It must have been a dozen or more. I don't see a dozen anymore.
No?
No.
Well, that 6-line RAS test room.
Betcha.
Yeah.
Something's been eating on them, I think. We'll turn them over, eating them out. Is that what they do?
Yeah, I think that RAS probably could potentially.
Yeah, they're like that.
You want to outro us, James, and we'll
So,
cut her here?
yeah, I was wanted to just close it off here for you. Thank the Reef Club, Northern Minnesota Reef Club, for showing us a thing or two throughout the years, not just today, but also just let you know that we're open 7 days a week here now at Headwaters Science Center, Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 5, Sunday 1 to 5. So come and visit us, see the tank live, bring your